Live, covering all of Southeast Michigan, CBS News Detroit at 7 starts now.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us for a special edition of CBS News Detroit at 7. I'm Ahmed Baji, a Lebanese Arab American.
And I'm Ibrahim Samara, a Palestinian Arab American. And if you didn't know, the month of April marks the celebration of National Arab American Heritage Month. It's only one day away, and it's an opportunity to promote the Arab heritage and empower Arab Americans not only across the country, but right here in Southeast Michigan. So, Ahmed, we have a
we have a thing going on tonight.
Quite the show. We have a lot of guests, a lot of things that need to be learned.
Oh, yeah.
Including one special guest that is right here.
Yeah, tonight we're going to actually take an in-depth look at the past, the present, and the future of Arab American Heritage Month, and then, of course, Arab Americans here in Southeast Michigan. And we're joined right now, by the way, by Matthew Jaber Stifler with the Arab American History Museum there in Dearborn, right on Michigan Avenue, by the way.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here.
And I wanted to begin really with, the National Arab American Museum. It's something, a staple in the community, a place that you can learn a lot. And where did really Southeast Michigan become a melting pot for Arab Americans across this country? Why Michigan?
Sure. I mean, Arab Americans live all over the country, and every state has an Arab American community, but Michigan's is one of the largest and one of the most visible. And it really began in the late 1800s when immigrants from Lebanon and Syria and Palestine were coming here and settling in Metro Detroit, and just kept coming.
And you have some artifacts that is right here. I see Shaggy, I see some wrestling shoes. However, I'm sure there's got to be a reason why.
Yeah, so I mean, Shaggy himself is probably not Arab American, but the voice of Shaggy and all of the Scooby-Doo cartoons was by Casey Kasem.
Yes.
Detroit-raised Lebanese American, and this doll is actually signed by Casey Kasem on the stomach, and was donated to us by one of our community members, which is how we get all of our artifacts at the museum.
And when did the museum officially open? I grew up in Dearborn, and I never really left the state. I'm really boring. But I remember it, kind of being pitched as an idea, and then it was starting to be built while really across the street was the old city hall. And now it's there. When did the idea really kind of first come about, and how did it get up to where it is now?
Well, the fundraising started in 2000 by an agency named Access, which has been serving people in the Dearborn and Metro Detroit community for over 50 years. But in 2000, the fundraising began, and the museum opened its doors in May 2005.
And I know a big part of specifically Dearborn, the Dearborn area. I mean, it is not only, as I mentioned, a melting pot, but also home to Henry Ford and the automotive industry. What does that have to do with what we're seeing today, and as far as the amount of Arab Americans that are coming to this area?
Sure. So when Henry Ford opened his plant in Dearborn in the 1920s, it attracted a lot of people from all over the world, including a lot of Arabic-speaking folks who came and settled around the factory in Dearborn, and that community continued to grow. And then as things happened in Arab countries that kind of forced people to migrate, they just kept coming to this area, and then we get the community that we have today.
And the evolution over time truly through the area. I mean, it's not just Dearborn. I mean, you look at Torn-Hamtramck and all around the area, really. The population, obviously, like you said, it's just continued to grow and expand. I mean, and it's just like you said, it's a melting pot. There's this mixture of cultures and everything that go between all the different areas. But while these are those primary spots, you're starting to see it actually throughout a lot more of southeastern Michigan now.
Yeah, the Tri-County area has historic and some even more new communities, and even as far west as Coldwater, Michigan, has a large Yemeni population that's been there for many decades. So it's definitely the whole state. It's not just Metro Detroit.
All right, you have a couple more artifacts to show.
Sure.
I'll let you pick one.
Okay, let's do these. These are actually boxing boots, and these were worn by a Yemeni American, Saddam Ali, who was in the 2008 Olympics, and he was also a title holder in middleweight title for the nation. Now, he's not from Detroit, but he boxes out of New York, but it represents the very prominent Arab American boxing scene here in Detroit, especially among Yemeni Americans.
See, now, obviously, Detroit and boxing, I knew those go together really, really well, but that part I did not know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's, even Tariq Salamasi, Lebanese American, was on the first season of the reality show The Contender. So yeah, there's a lot of boxing history here in the Arab American community.
And we see one thing hanging off at the desk right
Sure.
there. Why don't you go ahead and explain?
So Detroit is home to a lot of innovative artists and fashion folks, and this is a drawing and a pin that goes with a dress designed by Lebanese American Ruth Joyce, whose family immigrated from Lebanon, and she was very well known in the area in the 50s and 60s for making and selling couture fashion.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I'm started to see a lot of, like when I was growing up, especially around Dearborn, you weren't seeing all these, different fashion boutiques and everything starting to pop up, and that really is starting to become a big thing now too around the area. I mean, is that a trend that you see really starting to continue to go to?
Yeah, I mean, you can see a lot of Arab American-owned clothing stores, especially stores that cater to Muslim women with more modest clothing, are popping up all over Dearborn and into Metro Detroit.
And we have 15 seconds, but before we go, how could people get more information about the National Arab American Museum?
Sure, the easiest way is go to arabamericanmuseum.org and you can see everything that we're up to.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you. Matthew, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. And of course, when we come back, it's a story you don't want to miss. We'll be joined by members from Helping Hands. That's with 3 Z's, an organization delivering leftover food from Ramadan to feed the hungry in Metro Detroit. Be right back.